Hey guys, what's up? RedExions here and welcome back to this brand new video. And today, it's again race weekend. We are here at a very rainy Kerpen.
Yeah, you can't really see that much, but it is raining, it is windy, it is bleh.
And as you guys may or may not know, we are here to compete in the Dutch 4-stroke series in the ID shifter class. Yeah, really fast kart, 41 horsepower, 5 gears, super soft tires, and well, it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. So yeah, it's currently Thursday, we just arrived, we built everything up, and well, now it's time to sleep in our little heaven.
Yeah, the van has had quite a bit of a makeover. That is my bed, that's my mechanic's bed. Here we have a bunch of stuff, and look at that, little data station, helmet, everything nice here.
First, let's catch a little bit of sleep and then see you guys tomorrow.
Alright guys, good morning. We've had a wonderful night of sleep, it wasn't too cold actually, and yeah, I'm pretty rested actually. Now, real camping lifestyle, time to get ourselves ready for the day, because this is not acceptable, that thing that's on my head. And yeah, I think we can go on track in about an hour, so yeah, plenty of time.
Alright guys, welcome aboard the RedExions shifter kart. 4-stroke, 42 brake horsepower, 6 gears, front brakes, very soft tires, flappy pedal gearbox, and a top speed of well over 130 kilometers an hour. This thing is an animal, and it's absolutely a joy that we're allowed to drive this. Yeah, as you guys may or may not know, I've been asked by Artur Dontje, the creator of the ID concept, to race in this class for a season and to make videos about it, so that's what we're doing right now. And well, this is the second time that I've been driving the kart. If you're curious to see a little bit more technical info or what the class even is, go check out the video in the top right hand corner right now. In there I did a full test day in which I tested both the RedExions senior and shifter kart, and in that video I kind of explain how it all works and how you can get into it as well. But yeah, for this weekend it is time for round 1 of the Dutch Championship 4-stroke, which is exclusively a championship for the RedExions shifter, for the RedExions categories. And yeah, I think it's a really cool concept, and yeah, let's see what we can do this weekend. Alrighty guys, we're about halfway done with the day, and it's going quite well I think. Well, we are top 3 pace I think. In one of the sessions we were actually the fastest by almost 7/10, so that's good. I think we have some solid pace, but now time to have some nice German cuisine. Cheers! Alright, so a little bit later on in the day you see that the rain has definitely started falling more as we make a little bit of a mistake there. Yeah, it was coming down quite hard, and you can see also by the way that the track is almost like a mirror, that there's really a lot of water out on track, and also that there's new asphalt in Kerpen, which has been, I think it has been there since January, so it's really kind of fresh asphalt, which always makes great fun to drive in the wet because it has more grip. And yeah, as you can see there, the lines that we are taking are sort of similar to RoadTax, but not completely. It's basically in between like a full 2-stroke shifter kart and a RoadTax. When you're driving a 2-stroke shifter kart, you always want to take very tight lines, and you want to have the kart straight, in a straight line as early as possible, because if you go on the power whilst you are still turning in the shifter kart, because it has so much power at the bottom end, you will get massive amounts of wheel spin, and that's the same with this RedExions shifter here, because it has so much torque, of course. It's a 4-stroke, it has torque at very low revs. Then a session later, the rain has sort of yeah, gotten a little bit better. But one weird side effect of that is that the visor gets kind of crusty and dirty, because of course there's no fresh water which keeps cleaning off the visor. And as you can see in front of us, there's Sam Kales. He is the RedExions senior champion of, I believe, 2021, if I'm not mistaken, and he is racing in the RedExions shifter class as well. He's a really quick guy. As you see, we are kind of struggling to keep up with him. Yeah, he's also racing in ID shifter this year. We actually have quite a strong field. There are quite a few strong guest drivers in there, so that makes it really fun racing. Yeah, as you can see, we're just following him here, taking a lot of curb there in the Moedkurve, which is German for bravery corner. Then in the chicane, of course, we also take a lot of curb. We nearly lose the back end there, as this thing really is an animal. You really have to be careful when going on the power or keeping the power while you're turning, because it will snap back at you. Also, this corner here on the main straight is just not flat out. With the RoadTex, it is easy flat, and even though this kart has a lot grippier tires, yeah, it's just almost possible to do it flat out, but not quite. And also, just take away that, or just take a look at the way we are exiting the corners. You want to turn in, have the carts lined up straight as soon as possible, and then get on the power, shift up, of course. And well, that's the way you are quick in the RedExions shifter kart. Yeah, we were kind of quick. Sam was a little bit quicker than us in this session, but yeah, then remember, we didn't do any practice, so this is basically the first full day that we have with this thing. And yeah, so considering that we didn't really have practice, of course it's not an excuse. I think we're doing quite well, about, yeah, top 3 pace, which is good, of course. And that all of that is a good indicator for the races to come on Sunday.
Well guys, yeah, day's finished. Sadly, we ended with some electrical issues. It's fixed now though. Got a brand new ECU in there, and should be all good to go. Even though it's not a winter cup, we have fucking snow. It's literally snowing. So yeah, nice. So yeah, apart from our electrical issues, they actually went pretty well. We're quite quick. I think we have top 3 pace, so that's good. And yeah, let's see what tomorrow brings. For now, we'll do a little bit of track walk, and then time to go to bed. And I'm going to enjoy these wine gums. Okay, these guys want to shout out. What is your Instagram name?
Ik heb geen Instagram.
Oh, what is your Instagram name?
Van de Goor Racing.
What is your Instagram name?
Oma laatste Johan 64.
Yeah, go follow them all.
Ja, dat was ik.
Mag gewoon zo, dan mag gewoon dit aan. Hallo.
Well guys, good morning. Had a wonderful night of sleep. We're now doing a track walk. We're now at the back of the track in the foresty part. And let me tell you a little bit about this track. Like over here you have a lot of curbs. You have this huge one. They go here to this banked left-hander. It's quite banked. I don't know if you're able to tell, but there's quite a bit of banking on here. And you might not see a reason to take this curb right here. But you need to take this curb to position the kart over the next one, and then the left-hander, and then the right-hander. So basically you're set up for the hairpin back there, which determines all of your speed back there. Start all the way back here. It's one big sequence, and that's what's so magical about this track. Like this foresty bit, amazing. And when taking this curb, you need to be all the way over here, so that the kart is level, and that you can take that curb flat out as well.
Alrighty guys, time for Saturday, day 2 of testing. As you can see, we're now on slicks, because it actually stopped raining on the night from Friday to Saturday, and also it had stopped snowing. And in the conditions like this with a half wet track, you know, we are just insanely quick. Here we are overtaking the 354, who is last year's RedExions shifter champion. Yeah, we just throw it up the inside there, get the car turned in, and just take it away. Yeah, for some reason we just have so much confidence. Look at how much we are gaining here in the chicane on the 357 there. We just have a lot of confidence in these conditions. I really don't know what it is. Also with the RoadTex, just we are quick in these conditions. Also here going for a very late dive from here, taking a lot of curve, getting the car rotated early. Try not to use too much road on the exit. We still get a little bit of oversteer because I still take it a little bit too wide. But yeah, that's the price you pay for jumping from RoadTex into the RedExions shifter car. There you can see that we turn in very aggressively. We get the car turned in, and it actually works out quite well here, taking a lot of curb. Now we are behind the 344 of Sam Knopjes, who used to race Minimax in, I believe it is the UAE, also a very active member of our Discord server. And you can see that he makes a little bit of a mistake, so we are able to get through, and now we are right behind, oh I forgot his name, that's really bad. Oh, Rob Lucas, he is the 2021 RedExions shifter Dutch champion, so he's also a very quick guy in this class. Even though this year he doesn't really do that much testing, he's still a very quick guy, which is of course more impressive if you're doing it without testing. And also a really strange thing, he drives without a rip protector. I've never heard of that. Well, they used to do that in the old days, but this guy's crazy enough to do it now with this very aggressive kart. Here we go up the inside of a slower driver, we get a good exit and we just launch past him here on the straight in the slipstream of Rob now. And yeah, here you can kind of also see a little bit of problems that I was talking about yesterday, the electrical problems with the with this shift box. For some reason, well, it's a little bit of a new system, of course. It doesn't really shift that well sometimes, especially at a track like Kart where you're constantly hammering it over the curbs, and also because of the rain, it just didn't really work that well all the time. Here you can see that Rob also gets a poor exit because his car didn't shift up. Yeah, sometimes it happens, it's a little bit annoying, but the guys over at RedExions are working on that very hard to fix it, and I believe for the next race we even have an update on that, so let's see how that goes. Well, the session is finished, and well, here I wanted to brake late again, of course, but we do it a little bit too hard, have a little bit of a lockup, as you saw there, and we almost go into the gravel, but luckily we just missed it.
Alright guys, lunchtime. Yeah, so far we're having problems with shifting, and that is, well, mainly because it's kind of a new system and it still has a little bit of issues. But also we discovered that we had to adjust something, like when you move, I'll just show you. Our main issue was this thing. When you like move the engine to tighten the chain, you also need to adjust this, and we didn't do that, so yeah, I didn't want to shift sometimes. Now lunchtime and 3 more sessions.
Alrighty guys, time to test out our speed in the full dry, and I have to say, looking back at these onboards, I was very smooth. Look at that steering input, just almost nothing. Again, in this corner we just turn in, no oversteer whatsoever, get on the power, boom, we're out. This is really unheard of for me. I kind of have the suspicion that for some reason I just struggle with the RedExions tires, the Mojos, because whenever I drive in a different class my driving is just a lot cleaner. And I'm not blaming the Mojo tires for that, I'm blaming myself for that, because as a good driver you have to be quick on any tire, and I'm not. So yeah, it's good to see that we also in the dry at least have some good pace. I have to say that the problems with the shifting continued on. We had a little bit of problems with yeah, just shifting up again. They did fix it, however, later on in the day, but it was still a little bit hard to, you know, focus when that happens. But we still gave it our best, and the guys at RedExions gave it their best too, and yeah, they of course do their best to keep the carts running all of the time. And also guys, if you may or may not have noticed, we are now wearing our white OMP gloves, and that's because it is dry. I always use the nice gloves in the dry. Speaking of nice gloves, K-Racing has another discount code, OMP Red. If you use it on their site and check out using the code OMP Red, you can get a 10% discount on all OMP products, even if they are already on sale, and you will even get a free balaclava with that. So definitely use it, visit K-Racing and use the code OMP Red. You'll get a 10% discount, very nice. And yeah, we do complete another lap there, then we go to the next session, and the sun has come out quite a bit more. Also because we haven't really run on new tires yet, we were now on completely dead tires. And yeah, you can kind of see that we are struggling now to keep up with the rest of the field. Even though, oh yes, there we have a spin there, and we have to dive into the pits to avoid going over that guy, which is of course not what you want. But yeah, here you can see that the 342 is pulling away. He's another very quick driver, he's from KZ. So yeah, you know, it's when there are so many great drivers in the championship, it's kind of hard to, you know, always be up there in terms of pace, especially at something like the B&L, but here too. There are just so many quick drivers here, and it's just a lot of fun to compete against. But yeah, if your tires are dead, and if you're also driving a little bit too aggressive because of that, which is something I tend to do sometimes, yeah, you're a little bit off the pace. Here we are behind the 339, and yeah, we just got poor exits this time because, well, we're not really driving as well anymore. But for the second test day, I believe it was going okay. It's me again, in my room. Why am I not vlogging out on track? Well, yeah, we had some more electrical problems, and the emotions got up a little bit tense behind the scenes. So high, in fact, that I didn't even know if I was even going to be competing in a race for the next day. But yeah, in the end, the team of RedExions did manage to fix the shifting system it did work again. However, one problem, it had started raining again, and because I wasn't really sure whether or not I was going to be taking part in the race, I decided not to buy new wet tires. So we went into qualifying on tires that looked like this. But somehow, in some magical way, I managed to nurse these tires to this lap time and this position in qualifying. So that actually was really good. And that kind of revived the fighting spirit in me. I really wanted to go for, you know, a good result then. So let's go into race 1 and let's see what happened there. Alright guys, here we are on the grid for our first race in IDC near 5 red lights, and away we go. And as you can see there, we bumped the 344 and that immediately gave us a front fairing penalty. But here we go for P3, then for P2 as we go to the inside of the corner, and we do get P2, job done and dusted. I have to say our starts this year have been really good so far, and this one has been no exception. But unfortunately we did get that front fairing penalty even before the lights went out, so that's a little bit stupid on my end. I was just too close to the guy in front and I just tapped him. And here, as you can see, the 344 is absolutely bolting away. But do remember guys that we went into this race on wets that had pretty much no life left in them. And well, you can see that here we're struggling a little bit, so all we can do now is pray for the track to dry, because if the track dries, then the wets actually become quicker if they're worn out, and then you see that the 344 makes a little bit of a mistake, so we get a little bit closer to him. And also in the chicane we just gain a lot on him, because we just carry more speed and just go on a straight line over the curves. So yeah, we are now settled going into lap 2. You can see that we already closed up the gap a little bit. Also here in the braking zone we gain quite a lot on him, but then on traction and here in the mid corner we just lose a little bit. So really all we can do is pray for it to get drier and drier. And also just drive better, because of course I make the biggest difference. But there you can see in lap 7 it has dried out quite a bit now, and we have caught up to the 344 here. We're now right on his bumper, so maybe we can go for a little bit of a cheeky move somewhere. We take a lot of curb again here into turn 1 or into turn 2 actually, but now this time you see that we can actually keep up on the exit. So the track conditions really are forming towards us here. We can maybe go for a dive bomb. No, we're just a little bit too far away. Yeah. Looking back on it, I really should have gone for it right there, because it actually turned out later that was our only chance of the race. We are now right on his bumper again. We are so close, he has to look over his shoulder there. Maybe we can do something if we get a good exit here. No, we again get really close, but we just are not close enough to, you know, kind of pull alongside, or we don't really have the traction. Here we make a little bit of a mistake too, which allows him to pull away like by a tenth or two. Here again we gain so much over that curb, because we just send it over that curb in a straight line. Now going on to lap 10, maybe we can mount another attack here. No, we're just a little bit too far away. I didn't quite have the confidence on the brakes, because also the front started locking quite a bit as the race went on, because of course the tires, they just died so quickly. But again here we tried to go for a move, but no, we're just a little bit too far away. We can't really do much. Here we actually gave him a little bit of a tap. We're right up his bumper now. Maybe we can go around the outside somewhere, take a different line, do a switchback. Here he makes another mistake, but we get so close, but again we just can't really pull alongside. And also guys, you can't see it, but behind me there's P3 about half a second back, so I also had to manage that. But yeah, you can see that the P1 is just a little bit quicker than us, and especially in the traction zones he just gains so much on us. Here in the chicane of course we gain back on him. Then going into the final corner he takes a little bit of a better line than us, which of course makes him have a better exit than us. But then again, yeah, a little bit later on we again are so close to him. Maybe we can take a little bit of a wider line here, but then bad luck strikes as the camera. Of course the cam box is a great thing, but the battery life is not the best, and well, it runs out right here. That's a little bit unfortunate. We actually end up finishing in P2, but because we got that front fairing penalty we got pushed back to P4. Yeah, front fairings are new this year to the ID shifter class, or pretty much any ID class, and yeah, it kind of came back to bite us in the bum there. However, we did get the fastest lap in the end because the track really started evolving towards our tires, and yeah, a little bit of a shame. At least I know that we have the pace to win the next one.
Well, hello guys. Yeah, you have not seen my face yet today, and that's because this day was the fucking most chaotic day ever. We started out, massive problems, engine didn't run, didn't want to shift. Then qualifying, same thing happened. We managed to qualify in P4, and also we didn't go on new wets, and yeah, this is what they look like now. So yeah, we definitely lost a little bit of time there. But then in the race, yeah, I went to P2, fastest lap of the race as well. But yeah, I got a front fairing at the start immediately, so that's fucked. And also, yeah, this didn't help. We're actually not even allowed to start the race on these tires now. So yeah, we had to buy new wets, unfortunately. And yeah, it's drying now, so it's going to be interesting. But yeah, we'll just see.
Alrighty then guys, welcome to heat 2 of the day. Here you see us warming up the tires, but that actually turned out later that was not allowed. Yeah, the 4-stroke championship has some different rules to what I'm used to. Anyways, we roll into the tram lines now, 5 red lights, and away we go. Here you can see that the guy ahead of us, his car doesn't shift, and we run into the back of him, again giving us a front fairing penalty even before the race had even started for us. So that's a little bit unfortunate. He got caught up with some electrical issues as well, and we just couldn't avoid it and went straight into the back of him. One positive thing, however, is that we are now in P3, and also something that is really interesting to watch. We are on slicks. The guy who started ahead of us, which we rammed, was on slicks, and the two people who are now in P1 and 2 are on wets, but the track is definitely drying. One difficult thing about running a race like this on slicks is that you have to get temperature into the tires first before they are quick, and the wets are quick from moment one. But of course, if the track is too dry, the wets start wearing out really quickly, and we just only get quicker and quicker as the race goes on. The only thing that you have to do when you start a race like this is get heat into those tires fast. And I do have to say, we went testing a few months ago with my road tags here at Kerpen in similar conditions, and that really helped me to get heat into slicks on a wet track, because it is so important that you do that. Here you can already see in lap 3 that we are now starting to get some grip into the tires. You see we turn in and the car just immediately goes this time. Here again in this corner you can see that we turn in and the car just grips up instantly and we can get on the power. And you can also see now that we are gaining quite a bit on P2 and P1. And I don't think it's going to take much longer before we can actually mount an attack. And as you can see here, we are just gaining. We have so much more grip than them. Also in the traction zone, we just get on the power and we're off like a rocket. Whilst they are kind of, you know, searching for traction. The back end doesn't really grip up that much here in this left-hander as well. And look at how much more speed we can carry here in the chicane. We gain a lot on the 357 there. So much in fact that we are now right on this rear bumper. Going into lap 4 now. We are in the slipstream of the Mazda MX-5 driver. We pull alongside here, try to outbrake him, and yes, we definitely do. Now we are right behind the 329, the 2021 ID shifter champion. And here we see that we can take a little bit more speed through the corner. We just get a rocket exit and he squeezes us onto the grass almost, but we go up the inside and boom, that is P1. Now all we have to do is focus and pull away from this group as fast as possible, because the other guy who was on slicks was actually right behind this group. He had a little bit of trouble getting through because they were defending from him quite heavily and they just kind of let me go. So I was a little bit lucky there, so all I have to do now is push, forward. I have never been in the lead of a race before, believe it or not, so this was really a new experience for me. And all I wanted to do was just get my head down, pull away, and just fully send it. I wanted to get that gap as big as possible because I knew the guy who was also on slicks was actually a big threat to us because he also had some really good pace. And here you can see we're now on the penultimate lap already, and we do actually have quite a big lead. Or no, we don't actually have quite a big lead because the guy on slicks is right behind us. So we really have to focus and keep that P1 for us. Here we have a little bit of a check over the shoulder. You can't actually see him on camera, but he was right there. So yeah, all we had to do now is keep it together for one more lap. One more lap of keeping it together, and that would be our first on-track win. Because remember, we do have that front fairing penalty. And by this moment, I didn't know if the guy behind me had a front fairing penalty. As we now enter the final lap of the race, we go a little bit defensive into T1 because he is actually right behind us. Take a good exit out of the first corner, then We have a little bit of a moment there with the back end, but we try to just hold it together. Then the camera cuts out, we went defensive into that corner. But yeah, in this part of the track you can't really overtake, so it was really a case of just parking the bus here, because you really cannot get around here somewhere, because also offline the track was still quite wet. Here we get a little bit of a poor exit and then a little bit of a misshift as well, so we have a look over the shoulder to see where he is, and you can see that this bumper is actually right beside us, but we just turn in and he gets scared off by that. So now we keep P1 for now on track. We are going to win our first race ever in karting in the ID shifter class, and I have to say this felt really good. But I didn't actually know if we had won the race yet, because I didn't know if the guy behind me had a front fairing penalty. So a little bit later on in the lap we actually check, and we do see that he does in fact have a front fairing penalty, and that does give us the win. So that's really lucky. Yeah, oh, that was a really crazy race, man. He actually ended up getting the fastest lap of the race, then P3 inherited P2. But yeah, what a crazy race, and I'm happy with that first win of the season. Guys, heat 3. We are now starting from pole position, of course, because we won the second heat of the day. Yeah, let's just see what we can make of this. We get a little bit of a push from behind, so maybe the guy behind us now has a front fairing penalty. We roll into the tram lines, 5 red lights, very slow, and away we go. We just floor it instantly and we get a rocket ship start. You can see that we rocket into P1. I look over the shoulder, we have such a gap behind us that we don't even have to defend going into the first corner. So that's perfect. You always want to start that is so good that you don't even have to defend, because of that you can just instantly pull away, which is exactly what I was trying to do right here. I was just pushing, trying to get as far away from the pack as possible, and I have to say, being in P1 kind of gives you that extra motivation and concentration boost to, you know, keep going. And it is important that we just keep that focus. Don't make ourselves crazy by what's happening behind us here. We duck behind the steering wheel to get as much straight line speed as possible. Going into the mud curve, just taking a lot of curb to get that car rotated. Going into the chicane, it's yellow flags already because there has been an incident of some kind on the first lap. Now we complete the first lap in P1. I have a little bit of a check over the shoulder there, which is something you definitely don't want to do actually. But we do it anyway because I'm just kind of nervous, never been in the lead of a race before. And I just check over the shoulder here again on lap 9. We do it again, but my mechanic was like, no, don't do it, focus on going forward. And in the end, he was right. You really don't want to look back, but it's just something that because of the nerves I was doing quite a lot here. And yeah, you will see that this will eventually become a very expensive mistake. Here now, as we now go into lap 10, we still have a little bit of a gap behind us, which is good enough to not so that we don't have to defend. Then going into this corner, we make a little bit of a mistake with shifting and we lose the back end, and now we actually lose P1, and that's all because I wasn't focused enough, because I was looking back. So maybe now we have to keep up with P1, see if he makes a mistake too, keep up with him, try to stay on his bumper so that we can capitalize. Maybe he has that front fairing penalty, who knows. So it is important that we just don't give up now. Try to re-get our concentration and just focus on going forwards. And my mechanic, he was going absolutely crazy by the side of the track. He was like, mate, what did you do? That was so unnecessary. And he is absolutely right. That was a completely unforced error on my part. Here you can see that we gain a little bit back, but then we make a little bit of a mistake coming out of the corner, which allows him to pull away again. That was a really expensive mistake, and we just keep on making small mistakes as we now enter lap 11 of the race. We still have a couple more laps to go, so maybe we can do something, but I'm afraid that it is just a little bit too late for us, as he is now pulled away ever so slightly because he was about 1 to 2 tenths a lap quicker than us. Yeah, it's just so unfortunate. We really didn't have to make that mistake. It was so unforced, and he didn't even try to attack us before that. Even though he was quicker, he was right on our bumper, he didn't really attack. So I know that if I just didn't make that mistake, there was a big chance that we would have kept that lead, but he's just a little bit too far away now. We really have to settle for P2 and try not to mess up anything else. Just settle for P2. We didn't have a front fairing penalty in this one, so maybe we could get a little bit lucky if he ended up getting a front fairing penalty, but no, it's just a little bit too late. He just pulled away a huge lead in the end, and we are going to come across the line in P2, which yeah, it's a little bit disappointing if you ask me. There was just P1 was just possible, and I just made a big mistake there. And actually, if we look at the timing sheets here, you can see that it actually wouldn't have mattered if we would have kept in front of him, because we got a 3-second time penalty for warming up the tires in the formation lap. So that was a little bit unfortunate, and yeah, P2 it is. But that does mean that we are on the podium for the day. Let's look at that now.
Well guys, so close, but yeah, a little bit of an unforced error on my side there. Shouldn't have looked back so much. A little mistake, and well, it's the prize giving starting already, so I have to hurry up. We have arrived in this class. It's looking good. Despite all of the woes with the electrical stuff, if they fix that, then it's a beautiful class. I had to run to get my camera.
Hinderen met startnummer 3, 776. Van Lossenaarde. En nog 1. Komt hier.
Well guys, what a weekend. Yeah, so many things happened. We had problems, we were fast, we made mistakes, we won a heat. Yeah, basically everything that could happen, happened. So yeah, crazy weekend. In the end we did manage to get P2, and I think that's quite a decent result. And yeah, let's see if we can continue more of that this season. A huge shout out to RedExions and to R2 for letting me take part in this race. We've definitely had some ups and downs this weekend, and I want to say a huge thank you to the team of RedExions for the continued support on the kart and making sure that it runs properly. Yeah, it's just awesome that they want to work on it so much, even though it is so difficult for them. Yeah, I think that with the new update, this class is going to be cool, man. It's going to be insane. Now guys, if you haven't already, please consider hitting those like and subscribe buttons. You know, you really help me when you do that. We're trying to get the channel to 100,000 subs, and every sub is just one step closer. Just hit that button. Now 1 week before this, we took part in a B&O karting series kickoff in my own RoadX Max kart. Crazy race, basically European level. Go check it out, it's on screen right now. This video however is done, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.